we're going to be going through the setup and operating instructions of our Adapt 600 chair. So to do that, what we'll do is we'll go through each of the different paddles and the levers and just get it into a position that's going to be the most comfy for yourself. So to begin with, the first lever we use is the one on the right hand side of the chair in the middle, and this is going to raise the gas height when there's no contact or weight on the chair. So you lift it up, it will raise up, and then to move this back down we just need some weight in the chair. Lift that one up again and it will drop you back down to the position that's going to be best for you, working in conjunction with your desk. The next control we'll go through is the seat slide. So on the left hand side of the chair at the back you have another lever. Now there's a couple of ways to do this. Really it's just dependent on what's going to be the easiest for yourselves. So if you lift that one up, I always put my hand behind the back of the seat and move the seat slide forward. Now as you can see here, we've got an extra 60 mil of movements that we've just put forwards. If you were off the chair and you lift it up, you can move that forwards, move that back into the desired position for yourself. And as a rule of thumb, we like to have about a 2 or 3 finger gap between the front of the seat and then the back of the knees. Moving on to the backrest. So back onto the right hand side, on the lever closest to the backrest, if you were to lift this one up, what you'll feel is the back goes into a bit of a free float position. So what you want to do here is position it to the most comfy place for you, and then when you move that one back down, the back locks into that position. Now working with that and with the next bit, which is the back height adjustment, because the chair is on a ratchet system, what you've got here, a couple of ways to do it. Again, you can put your hands down to the bottom of the backrest and lift it up. It goes up in about centimetre increments, and you're essentially getting it into a position that's going to be the most comfy for you. If you want to move the backrest back down to the starting position, when you get to the top point, keep going, you'll hear it click out and then it will just drop back down. Before then, you can have a little reset to get it into a position that's the comfiest for you. The next thing is back onto the left hand side, and all of our chairs come with a lumbar air cell, which will just be clicked under on the left hand side. So what you want to do here is, as long as the valve, which you can see just below, is pointing up towards the bulb, you'll be able to actually add air into there. So you want to give that a fair few pumps until you can feel support, or actually, you know, it's going to be in the correct position for you. Once you've got it into a position, you can then start to see that there starts to become a bit of a curve where you can see where the air is there. Now, if you want to take some air out of there because you may have put a little bit too much in, going back to this valve, as long as that is pointing up towards the bulb, when you have pressure on the air cell, you push that and you can release the air. What you can also do, which is great with the height adjustment on the back ratchet, is that if you wanted that a little bit higher, you can move it up a little bit. If you wanted it to go a bit lower, just drop it down to the bottom. But that will really be dependent on where you'd actually prefer to have your support. The next bit, that's probably my favourite part of the chair, is the free float mechanism. So that's going to take the chair from a sort of pretty static position to actually being able to move with any sort of movement you have when you're sat in the chair. Now, to release this, it's the lever that's the closest to this tension wheel at the front. So when you lift that one up, what you feel is the chair will recline. Now, the chairs are rated up to 150 kilograms, so there's a lot of tension that you can play about with in the chairs. So more often than not, when you first sit in the chair, it may feel like you're having to push it back and it sort of wants to push you back forwards. That's just because there's too much tension. To take off some of that tension, with this tension wheel, which you can move out about an inch, what you can do here is you move it in an anti-clockwise position and you have a fair few turns on there, and what you feel is the tension starts to release. However, if you feel like you've taken too much tension off, the chair will go back, no problem at all. However, when you move forwards, you find that you come away from contact with the backrest. And what we would really love to see as a rule of thumb is something called permanent contact back. So what that means is when you're in a position, and to do this I'll need to add some tension, so I'm moving it forwards in a clockwise direction. So when you're in a position where you are sort of working at your desk, if you were to just move your elbows back slightly, the chair is reacting to that movement. Vice versa, when I come back to the keyboard, the chair is constantly following me. So actually it's assisting me when I'm moving, any sort of slight movement. And that's really great, because actually you don't want to be sat in a static position, because it's never going to be great for your body. There is so much turn on here and so much movement with attention that it's really about fine tuning it to your own personal body preference, essentially. Once you've got that sorted, we're now sort of in a chair where you should be comfortable with the seat depth, with the back height, with the lumbar SL, with that free float, and then it's going to really depend on what extras you may have in your chair. So more often than not, if you've got some armrests, all of our armrests will have height adjustment. There's different buttons on different arms that are going to go up and down. For example, this one, you have the button on the outside to raise it up or down, but you've also got some movement forwards, movement backwards, a twist outwards, and a twist inwards. But these are just going to be, in an ideal world, you'd set them up so you're about 90 degrees to your work surface height. And then again, a more common adaptation would be a head support or a neck support. So on this chair, we have a neck roll here. And again, it's just fine tuning it to a position that is going to be the comfiest for you. You know, some people might want it a little bit more pronounced. Others will want it to just sit off the sort of nape of the neck and the base of the skull. And it's really, everything with the chair is just getting it to a position that's going to suit you, because, you know, you're an individual. This is who the chair is for. And it's just working through it and going through the different elements to get you in a chair that's going to help you sit more comfortably, help you work more productively, and essentially hopefully going to make your life better.